data model. What is this virtual data model? What's its use and why it is called the virtual data model? So the virtual data model, as its name suggests, that you can see here, it's a given that virtual. Virtual means one which does not exist, right? This is the meaning of virtual. One which does not exist. Virtual means one which doesn't exist. Then how it's going to be, useful? If it does not exist, then why it's going to be useful? So see, this virtual data model, actually it is based upon the CDS. Okay, so with the help of CDS view, you can create our virtual data model. For example, we can create one CDS over here and CDS view, and on top of this CDS view, what we can do, we can create one virtual data model using this CDS. Okay, and this VDM is going to be used in a different scenario. You can use this VDM in your analytics, you can use this VDM in your FUD app, you can use this VDM in your enterprise search. I mean, at different places we can use this VDM. Okay, CDS VDM. So by using this CDS view, we can use this VDM. So in fact, the VDM is nothing but with the help of CDS only we are going to create. So the very first CDS view which you are going to use in this VDM, that is known as the basic CDS view or basic VDM. Okay, that is known as the basic CDS view or basic VDM. So first you are going to create the basic CDS view. Once you create the basic CDS view, after that you are going to create the consumption view. Okay, with the help of using this basic CDS view, you are going to use a consumption view. Okay, you are going to use you are going to create the consumption view. You are going to create the consumption view. So in consumption view, what will happen in basic view? What it will happen in basic view? The simple the select on the database table, select on the database table will be there. So whatever the query will write in the CDS, right? Whatever the CDS you will write, the table will be there only. Marcy, Mara, you can see Mara and Marcy. So this is the basic CDS view. Okay, this is the basic CDS view. But if in this CDS view, if we're going to use the another CDS view, then it will become your composite CDS view. Okay, so it is not consumption, actually it is composite, and the last one is the consumption, composite CDS view. So composite CDS view is this is made with the help of basic CDS view. So you are going to use the multiple basic CDS view. Okay, where the select query is there on the multiple database table, and that CDS view we are going to use in this composite CDS view. So this is made with the help of many basic CDS views. Once you complete this, basic you have created the basic, you have created now composite, and with the help of composite, okay, with the help of this composite and basic CDS view, what you can do, you can create the final consumption view. You can create the final consumption view. Okay, so this basic CDS view also, this basic CDS view you can use in your program. This particular CDS view, the composite CDS view, directly you can use in your FUD app or analytics, right? BI or BW, you can use in BigQuery, right? BI or BW you can use, or in any analytical app you can use this one. Directly you can use, okay, this particular things, BI, BW or analytical. Now once you are having you are ready with composite CDS view and basic CDS view, then what you can do, you can create the consumption view. You can create the consumption view over here. So consumption view you can create over here, and you can create the consumption view. So now this consumption view can be used for your VD app. Directly you can use this consumption app for your VD app. Okay. This consumption view can be used for your VD or UI5 app. So this is the thing. This basic view you can use in your program. Directly you can use it, this one in your program. You can use in your program. This you can use in your BW or analytical app, or this here you can use your VD or UI5 app. Here what you can do, that there are different annotation is going to be used to tell the CDS. Basically everything is CDS only, everything is CDS only, but with the help of annotation we are going to make that particular CDS as a basic CDS, or the composite CDS, or the consumption CDS. Okay, we are going to mark it like that. Now if you combine this together, okay, if you combine this together, both together is known as the interface view. Both together is known as the interface view, because both you are going to use in your consumption view. Okay, so just remove the okay. So this both is going to be known as the interface view. Okay, this is your interface view. You can note it. This is your interface view. In fact, interface view. So in interface view, you are having two types: composite view and basic CDS view. Okay, and this consumption view, and second is the consumption view. So what you understood over here, for VDM, all this VDM is of two types. Okay, VDM is of two types. VDM is of two types. Just a second, let me select everything. And so VDM is of two types. One is of interface view and another is consumption view. So maybe I can write it over here. VDM is of, one is interface view and another is consumption view. So again, for interface view you are having two: composite CDS and basic CDS. Okay, and the naming convention for both this composite and basic CDS, when you are going to create, it's going to start with I, capital I underscore, whatever the name of any name you can keep it. This is the naming convention for this basic CDS and this composite CDS, because both comes under the interface view. This is known as the name starts with I underscore. For the consumption view, the naming convention starts with C underscore. Okay, the naming convention start with C underscore start. Okay, so this is about the VDM. Why it is so popular? Why it is so popular? Why actually we are going to uh, why we are going to learn this VDM? What is the importance? Okay, so the importance is that means we can tell it like why VDM. Okay, so why VDM? So the reason behind, it's very easy to understand. You can see that Here in basic CDS, we are just going to put the select query on some database table. Maybe we can use some table, for example Mara table, right? So we are just going to put the select query on Mara table. Once you are going to put the select query on the Mara table and you create the basic CDS, similarly you can put some select query on Marcy table, and you can create some another basic CDS view. You can again create some another, basic CDS by putting the inner join on Mara and Marcy, right? Or using the association by putting the database table. So whatever the basic CDS you are going to create, that you can easily consume in this here composite CDS view. Just you have to use some particular annotation, and with the help of that annotation we are going to make that particular CDS view as a composite CDS view. So the way what or how we are going to create, that's easy, right? Means one CDS, and that one CDS you are going to manipulate in a different way, right? Just to use at the different places. That's the beauty of CDS and VDM. With the help of this particular VDM, you can use this one in DIBW, right? The same program, the same basic view, same select query, or simply even a functional person can use it very without any problem. So it's very easy to understand. So easy to understand. This is the first point. The second point, it's reusable. It's reusable. So how it's reusable? You can see the basic CDS you can use in different composite CDS. The composite CDS you can use in a different consumption view. So that's why it is reusable, right? Third point, it's the it's a, it's a model. It's a data model. It's a data model, and because it's a data model, you can use anywhere. You can use you can use anywhere. Like you can use in analytics. You can you can use in SAP UI5 or Fury app. So analytics, that is analytics or UI5 Fury apps. Okay. Analytics, UI5 and Fury apps you can use anywhere. After this data model, the performance is also one important factor. Why? Because basically it's using the CDS, and the CDS runs at the database layer, right? It runs at, because it uses the CDS. Basically it uses the CDS, and CDS runs at database layer, DB layer, right? Because it runs at the DB layer, and if your database is HANA database, so your performance is going to improve a lot. There is nothing in between, right? The performance is important factor, and another very important factor is the transport management is also very easy over here, because the reason behind it's nothing but the artifact dependent on the CDS, right? And CDS is very easy to get managed in the transport. There is no requirement of HANA transport container or delivery unit, something like that. Directly once you create the CDS, it will ask you for a transport request, and in that transport request just you have to put the CDS. That's it. So so because VDM is nothing but it's a kind of CDS only. It's a kind of CDS only. So that's why the transport management is also it's it is very easy, because no requirement of STC or delivery unit, something like that. No requirement of STC or delivery unit. Just save it. Okay. Just save it. Fine. So this is the overall picture of this VDM. This is the theoretical part of the VDM. Now let us see how you can use the VDM in our program. Okay. So in our CDS, how we can create the VDM? So to create the VDM, you have to use some important annotation. So what are those important annotation? So the frequently used annotations in VDM is nothing but when you are going to create the CDS, in that CDS you are going to include some annotation, and that's why it's going to become your it's going to become your VDM, virtual data model, right? So the very first one is VDM dot view type. So you saw that there are three types of view: basic, composite, and consumption. So here the value can be the basic, then it can be the composite, and then it can be consumption. Okay, then after the second one, which so when I'm telling this value, that means either one of these three you can use for this VDM.view type. So basic, composite, and consumption. Then uh, then the second annotation is that if you are going to use if you're going to use this particular VDM for as a composite, if you're going to use this particular VDM as a composite one, then you can use this annotation. The annotation is analytics. This annotation comes under the analytics. Okay. Analytics dot data category, data category, and we can give the data category. It can be dimension, fact, or cube. So if it is a master data, you can use it a dimension. Okay. If it is a transaction data, you can use the fact or cube. Okay. Then at the rate, another, like if you are going to use it as a transient query. Okay, I will tell you the concept of transient query, what is this, but let us understand this particular annotation first, that this is one of the important annotation. Analytics dot, if we're going to use this one in a query, then you have to mark it as true. Okay, so it is having two possible value, true or false. Okay, then at the rate analytics dot data. Okay, the third one is, just a second, something got wrong. Yeah. Then analytics dot data dot extraction, dot enabled. So if you want to get it used in some analytics or in any app, then this maybe you can understand something like, for the authorization control. Okay, so here I'm just going to give true and false. So two possible values here for this particular annotation. And then the another annotation what we are having, that object model dot data category. So what kind of data category it's going to have, that you can also define. So object model dot data category. Okay, column has text, comma, hierarchy. It can be two possible value. Okay, so these are the important annotation, and of course there is one very popular which we have already seen, odata, odata dot publish, odata, odata dot publish colon true. If we're going to mark it, it's going to create the automatically service for us. Just we have to register this. That's it. Okay. Now, one important point I want to highlight it over here, that for master data you can create two types of virtual data model. One is dimension model and another is text. So just let me note it down, this one also. For the master data, if you are having the master data, okay, for master data there are two types of virtual model you can create. One is dimension, okay, and for this dimension you can use the view type as basic and the analytics data category you can use as dimension. So here just I'm going to copy this and I will paste it over here. This is for master data, okay, this is for master data. So view type it will become basic and the analytics data category it is going to so this is for master data dimension. So just let me select this particular and I will put it on the top. How I can put on the top? Okay, let me copy this and I will use this one and I will paste it over here. So master data dimension, under the master data we are having the dimension. So in the master data we are having two types of VDM, okay, one is the dimension and another is the text. So dimension is going to get created with the help of text VDM, okay. So just uh, this is the master data dimension. This is the for this master data dimension we have to in fact use this one, this two particular annotation. Let me copy this and I will put it over here, okay. Just expand a little bit, okay. And here for this master data, so in master data actually we are having two types. In master data we are having the dimension and text. So this is the dimension one, so maybe I can give some space and we can give some color over here. This is the dimension and another what we are having, that is, just let me copy this everything, master data I'm just going to remove from here, and this is the text. You are having the text over here, and in the text, with the help of text actually you can use the text also in this dimension. So when you are going to create the dimension VDM, then you can use the text, okay. So here maybe I can fill some color over here, okay. So this is the text, and here you can use the basic and the data category can be text. Data category can be text. So this is a VDM data model diagram, okay, and this is for master data. And if we are going to use the transaction data, so for the transaction data, let me create a little bigger for the transaction data, and here what I can do, that let me remove that filling inside this, right click and fill, no fill, yeah, simply just we are going to use like this, and I'm going to put it a cover on it, don't fill anything, okay. So this is the text one, and another I can use for this particular dimension, so it will be easy for us to understand, okay. Good, it looks good now, and I can mark it little bigger, like this only. Fine. Okay, here also what we can do, that we can do some formatting over here. Outline no, fill no, outline we can make there. No fill. Fine. So here I'm going to just use this one. Okay. Okay, so in the master data that we have seen, now we will see the transaction data. For transaction data, what is the data model and how actually it is integrated with each other. Okay, so transaction data. For the transaction data, okay, for the transaction data, what we can do, that we can give, there are actually three we have seen: basic, composite and consumption. So basic, composite and consumption, whatever we have seen, this was mainly for, this was actually for transaction data. And this one actually the master data related with, we are having two types of VDM: dimension and text. And using this dimension and text, this dimension and text we are going to use in our transaction data VDM. Okay, so the consumption, uh, the three box we can show over here. We can show the three box. One is the consumption, and another is composite. Okay, and another is the basic. So for the basic, the VDM view type will be, so for the basic, the VDM dot view type is going to become the hash basic, and then at the rate analytics dot data category, this is going to become your fact. Okay, so if we're going to uh, make the basic, if you want to tell to the system that this is the basic one, this is the basic CDS, just you have to give this to annotation. For the composite, what you have to do, you have to give the at the rate of VDM dot view type colon composite. You have to tell to the system that it's a composite. You have to use this composite, and again at the rate analytics dot data category column cube. If we're going to make it as a cube, it will become your info provider. It will behave like a transient, it will behave like a transient query, and you can use it anywhere in your analytics or whatever. This composite you can use anywhere in this analytics. This you can use in your program. Okay. The consumption here, if you want to make this series view as a consumption view, then what you can do, that you have to write at the rate VDM dot view type colon hash, then consumption, and after that at the rate analytics dot query colon true. Okay. So VDM dot view type colon hash consumption at the rate analytics dot query colon query means if we are going to give this to annotation, then it's going to become your consumption. Now the sequence, how it's going to be. Okay, so this text and dimension both you can use here also. Okay, this text and dimension you can both use over here. Let me show with this. So you can use this one also, and as well this also you can use in this composite view. So when you are going to create the composite view for any analytics or whatever purpose, okay, so at both the places, at both the places you can use this text and dimension in this composite. Okay, this text and dimension views of this dimension view, dimension CDS view and text CDS view, both you can use here in the composite VDM. Okay, and now, like here, if you see that this basic can be used in this composite one, okay, and this composite can be used in this consumption view. So this is overall VDM architecture which you are having. Okay, so this is also known as VDM data model diagram. VDM data model diagram. So this VDM data model diagram is very useful diagram. It is very important to understand how it's uh, how it works actually. Okay, so VDM data model diagram, just save it, that's it. Okay, now what we will do, that we will take the example and we will see how we are going to use this one. Okay, so first we will create the first we will create the architecture, like how we are going to uh, make it, and then we will see. So first we are going to create the three basic view. Okay, as you have seen that, so here what I can do, that maybe I can dimension text, that's fine, consumption, composite, basic, it is okay, fine. Now what we can do, that we are going to create the three, just I'm going to create right over here. So the name of jet basic, VDM underscore, this is the basic one which we are going to create. So when you are going to create the basic, then the naming convention, it's start with I star underscore. Okay, so you can also create, there is no requirement of giving z and all these things over here. Without z also you can create. Okay, so I underscore, and uh, the basic you can give, and the table which we are going to use, maybe we can use the uh, some table where the data is there, maybe Mara we can use, and similarly one another table also we can use over here. Okay, so just copy this one, and three basic view we are going to create. One on Mara, another is on Marcy, okay, and one another is on Mardi table. Okay, on Mardi table we are just going to create, or maybe what we can do, that we can take the example of VBAK table, where we can see some, some aggregation kind of functionality we can use, because uh, if we're going to use the sales order kind of data, there we can get some price or some weight or something like that. So you'll be able to see some aggregation. So based upon VBAK we can take, or then we can use the VBAP, right? VBAP, so we can fetch the data from VBAP, and similarly we can fetch the data from some table. Maybe we can use the delivery item table. Okay, LIPS, this is the table for the delivery item. Okay, so three basic view will create, and once we create the three basic view, we are going to create the composite view, and then we are going to create the consumption view. Okay, so using this actually we are going to create. Okay, using this we are going to create composite view. So when we create the composite view, it will start with CO, right, underscore, and maybe we are going to create the sales. We want to see how much sales happened. Okay, so for that purpose we are just going to create this composite views, and this composite view we will see in analytics how we can use. We will see how in BI and BW purpose we can use. Directly we will not go into the BI BW system, but we are having some tool in the S4 HANA system itself. There we will go and we will use this composite cells directly. Okay, so this is the composite cells, and then we are going to create the consumption view. Then we are going to create the consumption view. So the consumption view, how we can create, we'll see how we can create this consumption view. So the naming will be, we are just going to give c underscore, c underscore cells. This is the naming convention of cells. Okay, so for composite also the naming convention is actually I. It starts with I only. It starts with I only, but just for differentiation let us give the CO. Okay, because the composite and basic both comes under the interface view, right? And interface view naming convention is starting with I. Okay, so this both comes under, all this comes under the interface view. So if you just no fill, just mark it like this. Okay, it looks good now. Okay, so this all comes under the interface view. So with the help of different annotation we are going to see all these things. So interface view, this is, and this is the actual consumption view, and this is the composite view. Okay, so interface view we have seen, these are the basic view, composite view, and this is the separate consumption view. Fine, so let us start creating this basic view. Okay, let's start creating this basic view. Fine, so but before creating this basic view we have to understand some important annotation once again. That is optional annotation, but it's important to understand that annotation because we are going to see that particular annotation frequently. So this is, you can see how frequently we are going to use the annotation in CDS to impact the functionality, right? To achieve the functionality. Okay, so the one annotation is that is, so now the annotation what we are going to cover, these all are the performance related annotation. These all are the performance related annotation. So whenever any analytic or any kind of VDM kind of concept comes, performance performance related annotation, performance comes into the picture. Okay, because here the size of the data is going to be large. Okay, the processing time also it can be higher because these are the OLAP system, and for the OLAP system, OLAP system, online analytical processing system, the data is in high amount, in large amount, and that is going to get processed. So it's going to take the time. So performance, we have the performance, it matters over here. And keeping that in mind, we are having three types of annotation over here. We are having three types of annotation over here. First annotation is known as the service quality annotation. First annotation is known as service quality annotation. So this just let me give the syntax for this. At the rate object model dot usage type, usage type, and dot service and quality. Okay, at the rate object model, what you can do, you can mark it the capital, each beginning one in the camel letter. So just you can give the quality. So this can have the multiple value. For example, you know, uh, the possible value it can have a, b, c, d, and x. Okay, this can have the possible value for this. So what is the meaning of this a, b, c, d, and x? Okay, so this is one annotation, and the possible value is a, b, c, d, x. So a, b, the meaning of a means the view may be consumed within the business logic for high volume transaction or background processing. Okay, so the meaning of a means the high volume. Okay, meaning of a means the high volume transaction or background processing. If you know that you are going to have the high volume data going to get processed. Okay, so these are very important to understand. Let me note it. Let me show you. So when you have to process the high volume of data, okay, or when you have to process the high volume of uh, data, okay, how volume of transaction, when you have to process the high volume uh, of transactional data, or maybe actually this is happened when you are having the how high volume of uh, data. Okay, if you are going to process the high volume of data, then you are going to use this one. The b you are going to use, okay, that if you are having moderately less volume of data in compared to a, okay, moderately, so medium size of data, you can see the medium size of data if you are going to have, then you are going to use b. And the c, you are having the c also, this is going to use when if you are having the uh, you are going to use the UI interface, that means UI5 interface. Okay, and you are going to consume this particular CDS or whatever consumption, uh, consumption VDM, so if we're going to consume that one, and if we're going to see, that means it's a very less data, very less data means you are having something like less transaction, something kind of a single object, means you are going to face the single object related data, nothing like more complex. So uh, comparatively less data, in compared to a and b, it is having the less data processing. Okay, so when you are having the less data processing, c you can use. And the d one is, so if we are going to use the uh, some view for analytical reporting, if you are going to use some view for analytical reporting, then you can use. So independent of this, you don't know, so you don't know like you are having the high volume of data or medium size of data or less data. But if you're going to use for the report purpose, okay, if you're going to use the data for the report purpose, you can use the this object model dot uses type, actually uses type dot service, uses type dot service quality, this you can select. And the last one is x. Let us see, this x is, used, suppose if you want to uh, push down the application to at the HANA database layer. Okay, if you want to push down the application code, whatever the logic we are going to write uh, for that particular CDS, and if you want to push that at the HANA, you know if you want to push down the application code to HANA layer, at that time you are going to use this particular X annotation. So if you want to push down the application code to HANA layer, then we are going to use this particular things. Let's save it. Okay, good. So this we have seen there are 5 types, okay, for this object uh, usage type of service quality, very important. Okay, the another what we are having, just I will note down the another one also, the size category. As you have as you know that in table also we are having the different size category, right? So similarly here also we are having in CDS also, right? In CDS also we are having the size category because we are going to deal with the data. Okay, so what kind of how many records you are going to deal with, so that particular number of records, if you are going to use the annotation system, for the system it will be easy to understand and it will be easy for the CDS to optimize the performance. Okay, so at the rate what you can give over here, that object model dot usage type, here everything is going to start with object model. So object model dot usage u, we can make capital usage type dot size category, size category. Okay, yes, also we can keep it capital size category. So this we can mark it equal to has excel. Okay, so there are multiple, multiple kind of possible value it can have. Okay, s m l, so we can write it, the possible value is, then m, then l, then excel, then double excel. Okay, so it's easy to remember s m l excel and double excel where it is going to be used. Okay, so s you are going to use when you are having the data size, means the number of record you are having the less than 1000. When s you are going to have the number of record 1000, and then m you are having that number of record 100,000, right? And then l you are going to have the number of record 10 lakhs. Okay, and the excel, just you can give the one more zero, you can give one for the excel, you are having the maximum number of records 100 million, 100 million you can have. And then double excel, double triple excel, you can have even more record. Okay, so for this you can have 1000 million. Okay, so like that you can have the number of record for this size category. Now the another important annotation, here we are having the mainly 3 annotation. One is the object at the rate of at the rate object model dot usage category dot service quality, and this is the second one. And third one what we are having, that the third one what we are having, that object object model dot uh, usage type dot data class, usage type dot data, usage type dot data class. We are having, this is the third one, and this can have the possible value, what, transactional, master, organizational, right? We already know like what kind of different types of data classes. So suppose if we are going to deal with the transactional data, right? So transactional, then master, then organizational, organizational. Okay, and then customizing, right? Customizing data, then meta, data, then the mixed data. So based upon the data type, we can choose this particular annotation and we can create. Okay. So this is the example we have to implement, and in the next class we are going to implement this example. So first we are going to create this 3 basic view, then we are going to create using this basic view, we are going to create this uh, composite view, okay, and then we are going to use the consumption view. Okay, so these things we are going to discuss in our next class. For today, let's stop over here. Okay, and in the next class we will see the remaining part. If you have any question, please go ahead and ask. Any question, Varun?
No, Pankaj, it is almost, it's a big VDM virtual data model. Okay. So,
Yeah, it's a little big concept, and it required little effort to understand. Okay, but it is not very difficult, because if you know the CDS,
uh,
the thing is that you are going to use the CDS only. Just you have to add this extra annotation. Okay, and you know the meaning of annotation. Like if you are going to annotation is nothing but it is a title. So for example, in our North India or something like that, if you are going to give the Sharma, that meaning means they are going to belong from some Brahman caste or something like that. So this is something like title which identifies, the system identifies with the help of that system is able to identify that what exactly it is and how we have, right? So
so
annotation.
whenever we use such kind of functionality, we call that annotation.
Right. You are giving system a hint, kind of a hint you are giving, like means what kind of data you have, what kind of process you want to do, how you want to. Means you are giving the information, you are giving the direction to the system, you are giving the command, a kind of command, okay, in form of annotation. Okay, you are defining the property because you are the end user and you are the developer and you know the property better. So if you are going to mention the property, the system is going to start thinking.
So similarly, whenever we create this kind of functionality, we call this at the rate object model uses type service. That is the master that we have to be defined.
Right. So whenever we are going to use the VDM, no, these annotation we are going to use this 3 annotation. Okay, so I will just show you, these
Okay.
annotation. Control C. So the list of annotation total will be how much? This one annotation, this is one annotation, because you are going to deal with the data, right? You are going to deal with the data, and this data is going to be used in BI or BW system. Okay, so you have to tell about all these things, and then another annotation, like if it is a basic view, right? So for the basic view you are going to use this annotation, right? For the basic view you are going to use this annotation, right? So just come over here. So for basic view you are going to use this particular annotation. Okay, so the 5 annotation just you have to use. Okay, the 5 annotation just you have to use in addition of this extra annotation. Already we are having by default this annotation is coming, so just you have to give some space and uh, you know just copy all these things from here and come over